Wakanda sent a warning, not a request. Captain America ignored it, and Wakanda vanished a U.S. base overnight. Thor called it treason. Iron Man called it war. But Black Panther said it was justice. Wolverine was the first to choose sides, and he didn't choose the Avengers. Superman landed next, but what he said stunned both Wakanda and S.H.I.E.L.D. Now 2 gods, 1 mutant, and the most powerful nation on Earth are on a collision course. And this time, there's no alien threat, only the truth behind a betrayal too deep to ignore. The vibranium was gone, not stolen from the vault, not hijacked in transit, but mined directly from Wakanda's deepest seismic layers, a place no human should have known existed. And yet, 3 miles beneath the soil, inside the cradle of their sacred mountain, a mechanical drilling core marked property of Stark Industries was found, abandoned. Still warm, King Chala stood in silence. No council, no camera, no hesitation. He pressed one button, and the world changed. A global broadcast lit up satellites, smartphones, defense networks, Avengers comms, even new Asgard storm monitors. One voice. No filters. No translations. This is Chala, King of Wakanda. You have stolen from the soul of our land. Return what you've taken within 24 hours, or face consequences that no Avenger, no government, no God can stop. The feed cut. Instantly. No rebuttal. In the Avengers Tower, silence fell like death. Tony Stark sat still, arms folded, face unreadable. I didn't authorize any extraction, he said coldly. But it's your tech, Steve Rogers replied. You want to explain that? Tony looked at the live scan. The drill core, the serial codes, all real. I didn't send it, he said again, but someone did under my name. Thor slammed Mjolnir on the floor, the thunder echoing through reinforced vibranium glass. Wakanda threatens war, he said, and war must be answered. No, Steve said, standing. We don't jump to force. We speak. We find the truth. The truth, Natasha said, stepping from the shadows, is already burning. She dropped a Stark pad onto the table. It showed Base Echo 9, a classified S.H.I.E.L.D. outpost in North Africa. It was gone, flattened. Nothing but ash and electromagnetic residue. 10 hours after Chala's message, she whispered, wiped off the map, without a single Wakandan soldier stepping foot outside. EMP, Banner asked. More like a precision soundquake, Tony muttered. Something new. Something they didn't want us to see. Then they've made their choice, Thor said, rising. But another voice spoke first. No, we made ours. Everyone turned. Wolverine stood in the corner, arms crossed, leather jacket torn, claws out slightly. How long you think they'd sit quiet while we drained their land dry, he said. I've been to Wakanda, fought beside Chala, watched him bury his father. He ain't the one starting this. He's just the one ending it. You're siding with them? Stark asked sharply. I'm siding with the ones who didn't lie. No one moved. Wolverine stepped forward. His eyes didn't blink. You all feel it. That gut feeling. That burn in your chest. You know something ain't right. He looked at Tony. This drill wasn't random. It was buried in a place you'd only know about if someone gave you coordinates from the inside. Inside Wakanda? Steve asked. Wolverine nodded slowly. Inside S.H.I.E.L.D. Tony stood. I'm not going to sit here and be accused of. The building shook. Not an earthquake. Not a weapon. A landing. A sonic boom tore the clouds open above Manhattan, and a blue streak tore through the sky before hovering midair outside the tower. Superman. He floated silently, arms folded, eyes glowing faintly. The glass parted as if summoned by wind, and he stepped onto the conference floor like gravity didn't apply. I need to speak to Black Panther, he said. You're late, Steve said, lowering his shield. No, Clark replied. You're early. Early to a war you don't understand. You came here to lecture us? Tony snapped. This is an internal matter. No, Tony, Clark said firmly. This is a moral one, and I read the files. Tony froze. What files? Superman reached into his belt and tossed a holodisk onto the table. Stark Tech. Access locked. Logan broke into the Triskelion, Clark said. Found this. Project Sunfall. Everyone went silent. Banner whispered, "That's not possible. That file was scrubbed. It doesn't exist." "It does," Logan growled. "It's real." Stark and S.H.I.E.L.D. were planning to drill from underneath Wakanda's tectonic core. Not for vibranium, for something else. Something even Wakanda doesn't know is down there. Tony looked furious. "I never greenlit Sunfall. That was Fury's black file." "Yeah." Wolverine said. "Then why's your name on every line?" Superman stepped forward. Calm, controlled, unshakable. "I've fought beside you. I've died beside you. But if you go to war over this, I won't be on your side." Steve looked away. He clenched his fists. For the first time, unsure. "Clark, we didn't know," he said quietly. "But now we do. And we need time to—" "You don't have time," Logan interrupted. "Wakanda gave you a deadline." Superman's voice lowered, but the room seemed to tremble. "They sent a message. Not a threat. A boundary. And if you cross it, I'll stop you myself." Thor stepped forward. "You would raise your hand to a god, alien?" Superman didn't blink. "Only if that god forgets what justice means." Lightning cracked outside. Mjolnir spun once. But Wolverine stepped between them. "Enough. You two tear this place apart, and Wakanda wins without firing a shot." Clark nodded. "Then let Wakanda speak." And from the comm screen, it did. A projection flickered to life. Shuri, regal and calm. "Logan, Clark, we thank you. But this is no longer about diplomacy." She looked into the lens. "To the Avengers, the countdown has started. The vibranium stolen was a symbol. But what lies beneath is something far more dangerous. And we cannot let you near it again." Steve took a breath. "What's under there, Shuri?" She smiled faintly. "A heart. And a memory." The screen went dark. Outside, a thundercloud began to form. Mjolnir rose into the air. And inside, Wolverine turned to Superman. "You ready for what's coming?" Superman looked toward Wakanda and whispered, "I was born ready." The sky above Latveria turned black. Not from clouds. From Wakandan stealth cruisers, hundreds of them, shaped like daggers, completely silent, shimmering against the atmosphere. They hovered for just 7 minutes before disappearing from global radar. But it was long enough for every intelligence agency to panic. Wakanda wasn't attacking Latveria. They were meeting with it. And Dr. Doom smiled when Chala stepped off the lead cruiser. "You're early," Doom said. "You're predictable," Chala replied, handing over a black cube pulsing with blue veins. "Vibranium enhanced. A gift. Or a trade." In return, Doom handed over files. Not digital. Not traceable. Etched on hard metal. Buried tech. Blueprints with Stark's signature. Banner's biometrics. And one terrifying word. Sunfall. Back in New York, Iron Man read the same file in disbelief. The encryption was perfect, he knew, because he wrote it. "This was locked in my old core," he said. "Deleted after Sokovia. Only Fury and I had access." "And now Wakanda has it," Steve said grimly. "Because someone gave it to them." "Not someone," Logan muttered. "Me." Tony stood, furious. "You broke into S.H.I.E.L.D.? "No," Logan snapped. "I broke into the truth. Something you forgot a long time ago." Tony pointed at the screen. "You just gave vibranium-class weapons to Doom. And you gave seismic drills to S.H.I.E.L.D., Logan said. "We're even." Above them, the alarm screamed. Superman shot into the sky before anyone else could move. From the clouds came an incoming flash. A missile? No. Too small. Too fast. Clark caught it in the air and froze. It wasn't a weapon. It was a message. A sphere of raw vibranium coated with DNA access. Shuri's DNA. He scanned it, then dropped it. Inside was a recording. A S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, no mask, directing Sunfall drills underground while Wakandan children fled collapsing tunnels. A timestamp showed it happened 3 months before Wakanda ever spoke a word. Tony went pale. "I never saw this." "Fury did," Logan said. "He buried it." Steve's voice broke. "Then we're not the heroes anymore." At that moment, the power went out. Across half of New York, Stark Tower, S.H.I.E.L.D., the helicarrier above the Hudson, all dead. No explosions, no sound, just silence. Wakanda's second move. EMP, Thor asked. Not just that, Banner said, analyzing his broken tablet. It's a vibranium disruption wave. They didn't kill the tech. They disconnected it. Wolverine smirked. They warned you. Enough, Thor growled. This is no longer sabotage. This is war. And with that, he threw Mjolnir toward the sky and vanished in lightning. Superman didn't move. Where's he going? Natasha asked. To start a fight, Clark said. And he won't win it. Meanwhile, in Wakanda, inside the Golden Throne Room, a projection of Thor flickered across a tactical map. He's on his way, Okoye said. And not alone. Above Wakanda's border, dozens of stealth jets moved, S.H.I.E.L.D., Stark Tech, and Avengers built carriers coming fast. Chala gave the order. Activate defense grid beta. Hundreds of energy domes rose, invisible to the naked eye, but deadly to anything that touched them. Within seconds, the first drone vaporized on contact. Back in the S.H.I.E.L.D. war room, Tony slammed his fist into the table. We can't breach them. Banner added, even Hulk can't punch through those. It's quantum reinforced. Then we distract them, Tony muttered. Deploy the Iron Legion. Tony, Steve warned. Don't make this worse. But it was already too late. The Iron Legion launched. 70 armored drones, each one piloted remotely, each one optimized with Wakandan combat data, stolen from a covert database in Berlin. And that was the final mistake, because Wakanda was ready. As the Iron Legion closed in, a signal pulsed through the sky. It didn't jam the drones. It rewrote them. One by one, the Iron Legion flipped midair and began attacking their own carriers. Tony's eyes went wide. They hacked my drones using my own code. Wolverine chuckled. You really thought you'd win a tech war against Wakanda? In the chaos, one lone S.H.I.E.L.D. stealth jet crossed into Wakandan airspace. Inside was Hulk. He didn't wait. He jumped, smashed into the ground near the vibranium fields, and landed inside a trap. Dozens of energy rods stabbed out of the soil, forming a prison of light and vibration. Hulk tried to roar, but the frequency hit his nervous system before he could move. He collapsed, knocked unconscious by sound. From above, Superman watched it all, then descended, not to fight Wakanda, to stop the war. He entered the capital without resistance. The guards recognized him. So did Shuri. You saw it, she said. I did, Clark replied. And I'm here to stop it before it consumes both sides. Shuri led him to a chamber, hidden, ancient, beneath Wakanda's core. Inside was a heart, not literal, a construct, glowing, alien, vibranium laced with something else. Years ago, something crashed here, Shuri explained. Before even my father's reign, it fused with the vibranium, buried itself deep. When your people began drilling, it woke up. What is it? Clark asked. We don't know, she whispered, but it's thinking. He stared at it. It stared back, a pulse like a heartbeat, matching his. You think the Avengers wanted this? No, but someone did. Someone who wanted us to go to war. Clark turned slowly. Then we find them, and we end this. Back in the tower, Iron Man tried to recover what remained of the Legion. One survived, barely. It returned with footage. Logan watched it first and stopped breathing. The footage didn't show Wakandans attacking. It showed Professor X in a room, approving Sunfall, alone, whispering something into a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent's ear. Something Logan never thought he'd hear. If Wakanda falls, mutants rise. His claws unsheathed slowly. No more sides, only the truth and blood. The skies over the Atlantic ripped open. Lightning split the clouds, and the roar of thunder was followed by a flash of red and blue. Thor streaked through the air like a living storm, Mjolnir spinning at impossible speed. Across from him, descending with controlled precision, floated Superman, fists clenched, cape whipping in the wind, eyes glowing. They didn't speak. They collided. The sonic boom shattered windows from Manhattan to Greenland. Air pressure dropped. Birds vanished. Satellites jittered as the shockwave hit orbit. Thor spun his hammer to regain control midair. Superman had barely moved. "You would side with them?" Thor growled. "I'm not siding," Clark said calmly. "I'm stopping a war." Thor's next strike was faster, feint, spin, vertical smash. But this time, Superman caught the hammer. Mjolnir froze. A soundless moment passed as lightning coiled around Clark's hand, refusing to let go. He didn't flinch. "This hammer was forged to serve justice," Superman said, "not vengeance." He let go. Thor hesitated, eyes narrowing, then fell back into the clouds, not defeated, but warned. At the same time, deep in Wakanda's command dome, Okoye gave the signal. Every Wakandan satellite repositioned. Not for defense, for surveillance. Their target was orbiting at low altitude above Earth. The SABR network, humanity's most advanced defense grid, operated in silence by S.H.I.E.L.D. and Stark Tech. Shuri didn't want to destroy it. She wanted to expose it. Within seconds, every screen in the world showed the live feed. Project Sunfall wasn't just a drill. It was a fail-safe protocol. If Earth ever lost control of vibranium, satellite launch rods would target Wakanda's tectonic heart and detonate microfission cores. Enough to fracture the continent. People screamed. News anchors froze. Governments denied. But the documents were there, signed, time-stamped, encrypted by Stark and verified by S.H.I.E.L.D. Inside Avengers Tower, Tony stared at the screen in horror. This wasn't supposed to exist. Steve looked at him, eyes hard. "But it does." Tony whispered, "Who else knew?" Wolverine stepped forward. "You don't want the answer." Tony turned. "Say it." "Xavier," Logan said. He signed off on it. Not S.H.I.E.L.D. Not even Fury. Just Charles. Banner stood slowly. "That doesn't make sense." Charles was the one always pushing for peace. "Exactly," Logan said. "So why build a plan to destroy Wakanda?" He tossed a S.H.I.E.L.D. datapad onto the floor. It played a recording, grainy, but unmistakable. Professor X, in a classified black site, speaking to a shadowy figure in a Stark Tech lab coat. "The future belongs to those who control the roots of power. If Wakanda refuses to share, we bury the roots." Steve closed his eyes. "We've been used." Suddenly, the tower's alert system flared. Someone had breached the helicarrier. From the inside, it was Hulk. He was awake, and he wasn't alone. Behind him stood a figure wrapped in vibranium, but not Wakandan made. This was darker, sharper, alien in design. Shuri saw it on her own scans and gasped. "It's activating," she said. "The heart," Clark muttered. The alien core beneath Wakanda, the thing that had been sleeping inside the vibranium, was no longer dormant. It pulsed in rhythm with Hulk's footsteps. The frequencies were syncing. Back on the helicarrier, Hulk tore through decks, smashing surveillance hubs. He wasn't rogue. He was hunting something. Logan realized it first. He's looking for Xavier. Tony activated emergency override, but it was useless. Hulk smashed through blast doors like paper. And then he found it. A chamber. Inside, suspended in cryostasis, was Charles Xavier. Alive. Sedated. Hidden by S.H.I.E.L.D. No one knew. Superman arrived first. "What is this?" he demanded. He'll try to explain. He's been here since Krakoa fell. He volunteered. Said his mind was too powerful, too dangerous if corrupted. Tony stepped in. "I thought he was dead. I swear to God, I thought." Clark's eyes narrowed. "Then who gave the Sunfall order?" The cryopod blinked. Xavier's eyes opened. He spoke without sound, directly into their minds. "I did." Everyone froze. "I never died. I evolved." Hulk growled low, uncertain. "You think this was about war? About vibranium?" Xavier's voice echoed through every mind present. "No. It was about control. About survival. I saw the future. The Avengers fractured. Wakanda isolated. Earth invaded. The only way to unify this planet was to create a threat powerful enough to force us all to choose sides." Logan gritted his teeth. "You became the threat." Xavier's eyes glowed. I became necessity. And then his mind expanded. The helicarrier's AI went dark. Surveillance died. Stark Tech armor froze midair. All of it, overridden by psychic pulses wrapped in vibranium-coded frequencies. The same frequency as the heart under Wakanda. Shuri's voice shook over comms. He's linked to it. The alien tech. He's controlling it remotely. Superman launched forward. Then we sever the link. But before he could move, a new energy wave pulsed across the sky, not from Xavier, from the earth. The heart had awakened. Across Wakanda, mountains shook, rivers bent. The sky shimmered like a mirage. The core beneath the surface was no longer just a reactor. It was something sentient, something watching, and it chose. Its pulse reached out and struck one being, Wolverine. He dropped to one knee, clawing at his chest. His adamantium bones resonated with the signal. "What's happening?" Steve yelled. Logan screamed, but it wasn't pain. It was memory, a flash, an image buried in his mind. He'd seen this tech before, not on Earth, on Mars. During a lost mission, one even Charles had erased from his memory. And it all came back. "The core isn't just alien," Logan said, trembling. "It's not a weapon." "Then what is it?" Banner asked. "It's a beacon." He turned toward them, eyes now faintly glowing like the core. "It's calling something home." The pulse didn't fade. It spread through Wakanda, through Logan, through every trace of vibranium on Earth. Satellites went blind. Stark suits glitched midair. Across the globe, those with cybernetic implants or enhanced sensory systems dropped to their knees. And at the center of it all, Wolverine stood still, breath fogging, claws trembling. "The beacon's not calling for help," Logan said, voice low. "It's calling for activation." Beneath Wakanda soil, the ancient alien core surged with light. Circuits older than Earth itself came online. Symbols not even Shuri could translate twisted across the glowing shell. Then it moved. A single tendril, not mechanical, not organic, reached from the heart and pierced the air. Across Wakanda, the skies shimmered. Something was coming. Inside the capital, Shuri gave the command, "Prepare for planetary defense." She bypassed every Avengers protocol and went straight to doom. Latveria opened its cloaked skies, revealing cannons and tech never meant for Earth wars. Tony intercepted the signal. She just requested orbital defense assistance from a dictator. "Because he's the only one who didn't lie," Logan said. Superman hovered above it all, hearing everything, watching the tectonic plates shift, slowly, subtly, as if something massive was turning over in its sleep. And then came the voice. Not Xavier's, not the core's, deeper, older, inside Logan's head. "One of you was made from bone and metal. The rest are parasites. You are not ready. You have touched what was never yours." He dropped, shaking. "I saw a shape, bigger than Earth," he whispered. "It's alive. It's coming through the core." Shuri's voice cracked over the channel. Then the war's no longer between Wakanda and the Avengers. It's us versus what's on the other side. Captain America moved fast, gathering what remained of the divided Avengers. Even those who doubted now saw the threat. Banner transformed without hesitation. Hulk didn't roar. He looked scared. Superman turned toward Thor, who had returned, expression grim. "Are we united?" Clark asked. Thor nodded. "A war between kings is meaningless now. We face a god older than stars." They flew side by side. But Wakanda had one final move. Shuri activated Protocol X, releasing the last line of defense Chala had hidden. A vibranium-forged AI, built with memories of past kings and powered by alien code extracted from the core. It had a name, Bastion. It stepped from the Great Temple, humanoid in shape, glowing like a star. Superman hovered in front of it. "You here to stop us?" Bastion's voice echoed across the skies. "No, I'm here to make sure none of you survive if you fail." Everyone paused. Then the earth cracked. A hand, black, massive, clawed, reached through the core, pulling reality open. The first of them had arrived. Not an alien, a god killer. And it had come for the vibranium. The God Killer pulled itself out of the core like a nightmare, dragging its body through a tear in reality. Its skin looked like obsidian, vibrating with trapped stars. Each step reshaped the earth beneath it. Its eyes weren't eyes at all, twin black holes feeding on light. Every hero froze. Even Thor swallowed hard. That, he whispered, should not exist. Superman didn't wait. He shot forward, colliding with the God Killer's chest in a burst of blinding energy. The impact threw both of them across the sky. Mountains shook, rivers split. Wakanda's barrier flickered from the shock. The God Killer recovered first. It grabbed Clark midair and slammed him through a cliff without slowing down. The entire ridge exploded. Tony launched every remaining suit. All Legion units target the joints. They swarmed the giant like metallic insects. The God Killer inhaled. The sky dimmed. Then a beam of gravity ripped through the air, crushing 20 Iron Legion suits at once like tin cans. Stark felt them die in his neural feed, his body jerking from the feedback. Banner roared and jumped, but even Hulk hesitated. His instinct screamed. This thing wasn't a monster, it was an extinction. Wolverine shook off the psychic ringing in his skull as the core pulsed again. The voice returned, one of metal and bone. "You are the key." Logan staggered. "Get out of my head." The God Killer heard the echo. It turned. Something inside its chest glowed, the same pulse as Logan's adamantium. It reached toward him, not to kill, but to claim. Superman streaked back in, smashing the giant's hand away before it could touch Logan. Clark's suit was shredded, cape torn, but his eyes blazed brighter than ever. "You're not taking him." The God Killer roared, and the sound bent the air. Bastion stepped forward, finally moving with purpose. Its body unfolded into weapons Wakanda had never shown the world. Vibranium cannons, sonic blades, gravity anchors. "Target acquired," Bastion said, initiating ancestral override. The AI unleashed a blast so powerful it carved a trench 3 miles long. The God Killer didn't fall. It merely turned its head toward Bastion, curious. Shuri's voice cracked over comms. "If Bastion can't hurt it, we have nothing left." "Not nothing," Steve said, stepping beside Wolverine. "We still have him." Logan didn't understand until Superman landed next to him, battered but standing. "You're resonating with the core," Clark said. "This thing, it's tied to your metal, to your past." Thor landed too, lightning crawling across his skin. "If it seeks him, then let it." Logan glared. "You want me to walk into its hands?" Tony's voice cut through the noise. "No, we amplify you." Shuri spun toward her console. The vibranium fields. They can charge his adamantium like a conductor. Hulk grabbed Logan without asking and hurled him straight into the glowing vibranium lattice. The energy hit Logan's skeleton like a star igniting inside his bones. He screamed, then stopped, because the pain wasn't pain anymore. It was power. His claws glowed white-hot, vibrating at the same frequency as the core. "Logan," Shuri said softly, "you can kill it." Wolverine launched himself off the field and shot upward like a missile. Superman flew beside him, matching speed. Thor rose on a column of lightning. The God Killer raised its arm. Too slow. Logan struck first. His claws pierced the creature's chest, not flesh, but collapsing gravity. The entity shrieked as vibranium-compatible energy ripped through it. Superman held its arms apart. Thor drove lightning into the open wound. The God Killer buckled. The core beneath Wakanda pulsed one final time. Then the creature imploded into dust and silence. When the light cleared, Logan fell, but Superman caught him before he hit the ground. Chala's voice echoed from the palace. "Wakanda stands. Earth stands. Because today we chose unity over war." Tony stepped forward, exhausted. "So peace." Logan looked at the shattered earth, the fading pulse of the core, the world that almost died. "Not peace," he said. "A warning." Superman nodded. "Because something built that thing." Thor exhaled. "And it will wonder why it died." Wakanda's sky slowly cleared. But everyone knew this wasn't the end. It was the beginning.